We're in the middle of a series based on one of the most popular and influential books of the last 25 years. The Firm Foundation video series helps leaders of wealth management firms lead and grow their companies more effectively. The book I'm referring to is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey. And what we're doing is taking each of those 7 habits and applying them to how to create a better wealth management firm. The first habit that we talked about was the habit of being proactive, how to happen to things instead of just being happened to. The second habit that we reviewed in the last video was how to begin with the end in mind and let that shape your decision making. Today, we're going to talk about the third habit, which is putting first things first. What's required to put first things first is goals, because goals help shape your priorities, and priorities help you determine what needs to be done first and what's most important. Next, you can't just be driven by the urgent, because a lot of times urgent things aren't that important, but we get entangled in them. And then third, we need a healthy decision-making filter so that we have the ability, usually in a short period of time, to be able to make quality decisions, to recognize how we prioritize our time and our commitments. Dr. Covey talks about the 4 quadrants of time management, or the way we think about time. So there's important things that are urgent, and there's important things that are not urgent. Those are the first 2. And then we have urgent things that are not important, and we have the most dangerous territory, non-important things that are not urgent. Those could be trivial work or junk mail or other escape activities that we sometimes go to when we're feeling maxed out or feeling over our heads. Some keys to applying this concept of first things first is a willingness to say no. You must be able to say no to things that are not prioritized, that you haven't predetermined to be the most important things. There also must be a discipline to stay committed to spending time on a regular basis on things that are important but not urgent, because otherwise you get caught up in the current of urgency and can get distracted and lose a lot of time and momentum. And there must be a willingness to give up the emotional satisfaction of doing urgent things or checking things off a list, because we do get gratification from that. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit like eating cotton candy if those urgent things are not that important. An example of some areas, because I'm very productive in my mindset, so if I take time to think or read, sometimes I have to remind myself that those are important aspects of what I'm doing, and that's a way that I can practice in my own business and in my own life how to put first things first. The fruit of living out of this habit is a stronger sense of empowerment, the ability to foster creativity, and then the ability to accelerate your problem-solving ability by defining what is the problem, what are my options to solving it, and then what solution makes the most sense, and then prioritizing around that as a testimony to a first things first example. Again, we're talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people and how these habits can help a wealth management firm. Firm Foundations is brought to you in part by our friends at SmartRIA, where they help financial advisors simplify their compliance.